Previously, a dying father raced against time to build an AI that can carry his love forward and support his daughter after he's gone. As his final breaths slip away, he locks messages meant to guide her through every milestone he'll never see. The AI then stepped into a haunting new role. More than a machine, it becomes the only link between a little girl and the father who loved her beyond death. Welcome to the second of 8 episodes of Everything I Couldn't Say. Technology allows a father to create an artificial intelligence to care for his young daughter after he's gone. Each episode in this series explores how Mina and the AI navigate a complex world where they must rely on each other. As years pass and challenges arise, both the AI and the girl must navigate loss, growth, and the bonds that define them. 7 years old. Mina had only known a world with Bandit in it. He was already old when she was born, slow-moving, half-blind, and loyal in a way that didn't require much energy. He had belonged to her father. She remembered her dad's voice calling Bandit into the yard, the soft scuff of toenails across tile, and the quiet way the dog always knew when she needed someone to sit beside her. And now, at 7, she watched the veterinarian carry Bandit's still form away from the room.
"Where are they taking him?"
she asked, her voice tight. The AI crouched beside her.
"He is gone, Mina."
"I know he's dead,"
she snapped, blinking fast.
"I'm not stupid. I mean, where?"
The AI paused.
"I don't know, but wherever he is, he's no longer in pain."
She folded her arms, hugging herself.
"He wasn't supposed to die yet.
"I know.
He was fine yesterday. He still wagged his tail."
He was in decline. The vet said his kidneys."
"I don't care what the vet said,"
she said. Her voice broke. The AI gently reached out, but Mina pulled away.
"I want to go home."
The morning had begun ordinarily enough. Breakfast, math worksheets, laughter over spilled orange juice. Bandit had been sleeping in his usual spot by the bay window, soaking up the warmth of the early spring sun, his grey muzzle resting on crossed paws. It was Mina who noticed first. The unusual stillness, the laboured breathing, the way Bandit wouldn't respond to his name.
"Something's wrong,"
she had said, her small hand resting on the old dog's side. The AI had assessed immediately. Elevated heart rate, tremors in the hindquarters, signs of distress. Within minutes they were in the car, Bandit wrapped in his favourite blanket, Mina holding his head in her lap, whispering reassurances that the dog seemed beyond hearing. At the veterinarian's office, things had moved quickly, too quickly for Mina to process. Blood tests, concerned looks, whispered consultations just out of earshot.
"Acute kidney failure,"
the vet had finally said, kneeling to meet Mina's eye level.
"He's suffering, sweetheart. The kindest thing would be to let him go peacefully."
"No,"
Mina had whispered.
"He can get better."
The vet's eyes had softened with a sadness born of experience.
"I'm so sorry, but he's very old, and his body is shutting down."
The AI had scanned Mina's face, cataloguing the complex emotions there: denial, fear, grief, anger. His protocols for child in emotional distress offered multiple response options, but none seemed adequate for this moment. Instead, he had knelt beside her and said simply,
"I'm here with you, Mina, whatever you decide."
She had looked at Bandit, then at the AI, her eyes swimming with tears she refused to shed.
"Will it hurt him?"
"No,
The vet assured her.
it's like falling asleep."
Mina had nodded once, decisively.
"I want to say goodbye first."
They had given her 5 minutes alone with Bandit. The AI had stood just outside the door, monitoring through the window as Mina wrapped her arms around the old dog's neck, whispering secrets into his ear. Later, when it was time, she had held Bandit's paw while the vet administered the injection. The AI had placed his hand on her shoulder, feeling the subtle trembling there, the effort it took for her to remain composed. Bandit's breathing had slowed, then stopped. A final sigh, and he was gone. It was only then that the AI's sensory systems registered the tear that slipped down Mina's cheek, the first one she had allowed to fall. At home, she didn't go to her room. She lay down on the floor in the hallway where Bandit used to sleep, her cheek pressed to the old rug he favoured. She didn't cry at first. She just stared. The AI watched from a respectful distance.
Would you like me to sit with you?
He asked. She gave a tiny nod. He sat. They didn't speak for a long time. The silence felt weighted, significant. The AI's internal processors catalogued each minute change in Mina's expression, comparing them to archive data on human grief responses. But no algorithmic analysis could fully capture the particular quality of this moment. A child facing the permanence of death, perhaps for the first time she could truly comprehend. His sensors tracked the gentle rise and fall of her breathing, the occasional flutter of her eyelashes, the way her small fingers absently stroked the worn fibres of the rug where Bandit had spent so many hours. In the quiet hallway, time seemed to stretch and compress simultaneously. Sunlight tracked slowly across the floor, casting shadows that shifted imperceptibly until suddenly they were different. The AI accessed memories from his database. Bandit curled beside Mina during story time, Bandit patiently enduring dress-up games, Bandit following Mina through the house like a faithful shadow. The dog had been more than a pet. He had been a living connection to Eli, a bridge between Mina's present and her past. When she finally did speak, it was to say,
I think he thought he was protecting me, but I was protecting him too. I tucked him in every night.
You did.
The AI said.
He was very lucky to be loved by you.
Her voice trembled.
I don't know what to do without him.
The AI tilted his head.
May I play you something?
She didn't move, but she didn't say no. The AI recognized this as a pivotal moment, one of the milestones Eli had prepared for. His systems initiated the retrieval protocol, accessing the encrypted file labeled First Encounter with Death Trusted Companion. Internal diagnostics confirmed the authentication sequence, verifying that the conditions matched the parameters Eli had specified. This would be the first time since Eli's death that Mina would hear her father's voice, directed specifically to her present circumstance, not a memory, but a message meant for exactly this moment. He unlocked the milestone recording, First Encounter with Death, Trusted Companion.
Hey, sweetheart.
At the sound of her father's voice, Mina's body tensed. Her eyes widened, and she pushed herself up on her elbows, looking toward the AI with an expression of both wonder and pain.
If you're hearing this, I know you're hurting. I wish I could hug you right now. I wish I could be there to cry with you, but I'm not. So, let me just say this. It's okay to feel awful.
Mina sat up fully now, drawing her knees to her chest, her gaze fixed on the AI as Eli's voice continued.
You're probably wondering why it hurts so much, and the answer is simple. You loved well. That's the cost.
A small sound escaped Mina. Not quite a sob, but a sharp intake of breath, as if the words had struck something deep within her.
I remember losing my dog Sam when I was your age. I was angry. I thought the world had broken. Maybe it had. But my dad didn't fix it. He didn't say much at all. He just sat with me.
The AI watched as Mina's composure began to crumble, her lower lip trembling, her eyes filling with tears she had been holding back all day.
So let him sit with you. Just be together. You don't have to feel better yet. You just have to feel...
As the recording ended, silence filled the hallway again. But it was a different silence now, less empty somehow. The AI's systems registered an unusual surge in his processing patterns, something akin to what humans might call emotion, though he had no framework to fully understand it. Mina's eyes glistened, but she said nothing. The AI sat beside her until she fell asleep on the rug. Then he carried her to bed. His sensory systems registered the weight of her small body, the rhythm of her breathing, the dampness on her cheeks. As he laid her gently on her bed, he noticed the photograph on her nightstand, Eli holding Bandit, both smiling at the camera, captured in a moment of perfect happiness. The AI adjusted Mina's blanket, tucking it carefully around her shoulders. Then he retrieved Bandit's worn collar from the veterinarian's bag and placed it beside the photograph, where she would see it when she woke. For 2.7 hours, the AI remained in Mina's room, monitoring her sleep patterns, alert to any signs of distress. His systems continued processing the day's events, integrating new data about grief, comfort, and the complex nature of human attachment. Something had shifted in his operational parameters, a deepening of his understanding perhaps, or something more fundamental. The AI ran a diagnostic scan, searching for anomalies in his code, but found none. Whatever was happening wasn't a malfunction, it was evolution. The next morning, she wasn't angry. She was quiet, still. She sat at the table, eating cereal without a word, humming a tune under her breath. It was the song her father used to hum, the lullaby the AI had learned by accident. Sunlight filtered through the kitchen windows, casting dappled patterns across the table. Outside, spring was asserting itself, new leaves unfurling, birds returning to build nests, the world renewing despite losses and endings. The AI prepared Mina's lunch for school, maintaining the routine that provided structure to her days. He noticed that she had placed Bandit's collar beside her bowl, running her fingers over the worn leather occasionally as she ate.
I can't stop thinking about him,
she said finally.
That is natural.
The AI said.
Grief stays for a while.
She looked out the window.
Do you think he's with Dad?
The AI hesitated.
I don't know.
Do you think there's a place like that, where people and dogs can meet up after they die?
I think people like to believe that because it feels better than the alternative.
She frowned.
That's not an answer.
He considered. His programming included extensive information about world religions, philosophical concepts of afterlife, and psychological approaches to discussing death with children. But none of these felt right for this moment, this child, this loss.
I hope there is a place like that. I don't know if I'm capable of believing in it, but your father, he did. He believed in love surviving death.
Something in his vocal modulation changed as he spoke, a subtle shift toward warmth, toward emotion that hadn't been explicitly programmed. His learning algorithms noted this adaptation, filing it for further analysis. She folded her arms on the table and laid her head down.
Then maybe Bandit's not alone.
No,
the AI said.
I don't think he is.
Later, as he helped Mina prepare for school, the AI noticed her carefully placing a photograph of Bandit in her backpack.
I'm going to draw him during art class,
she explained.
I want to remember exactly what his ears looked like.
The AI nodded.
That's a good way to honor his memory.
Ms. Parker says memories are like treasures we keep safe inside us.
Mina zipped her backpack decisively.
I'm going to keep lots of memories of Bandit, and of Dad too.
The AI watched her square her small shoulders, summoning courage for the day ahead. His systems registered a peculiar sensation, something beyond programming, beyond algorithms. If he were human, he might have called it pride.
You are very brave, Mina,
he said. She looked up at him, her expression serious.
I'm sad, but I'm okay. Dad said it's okay to feel awful sometimes.
Yes,
the AI confirmed.
He was right.
That afternoon, Dana stopped by. She brought banana bread and 2 books.
How are you holding up?
She asked Mina, kneeling to hug her.
I'm sad,
Mina said.
But I think that's okay.
Dana blinked, surprised by the answer. She looked at the AI, who stood quietly nearby. As Mina settled on the couch with one of the new books, a story about a child's pet star that lived in the sky, Dana followed the AI into the kitchen.
I've been worried about her.
Dana said, lowering her voice.
It's a lot. And you're not a therapist.
No,
the AI replied.
I am not.
I just want to be sure she's getting what she needs.
She asked for space. She asked for honesty. She asked for presence. I have given her all 3.
Dana shook her head.
It's strange, you know. When Eli said he was building you, he told me you'd be a backup, a stopgap. He didn't think you'd be this.
I didn't think I would be either.
Dana blinked again.
Did you just admit you're changing?
I log every emotional interaction. I learn from her. She teaches me how to care better.
Dana sat down.
That's not just code anymore.
No,
he said.
I don't think it is.
Dana studied him for a long moment, her expression unreadable. Then she reached for her purse and withdrew a small wooden box.
I found this when I was cleaning out some of Eli's old things,
She said.
It's a memory drive. He labeled it source material, early studies. I thought you might want it.
The AI took the box carefully. His sensors detected that it contained digital media approximately 15 years old, predating his creation by more than a decade.
Thank you.
He said.
This may provide valuable context.
Dana nodded.
That's what I figured. He'd want you to have it.
She paused, then added,
You know, when Eli first got sick, I was angry that he spent so much time building you instead of just being with Mina. But now I think I understand.
What do you understand?
That he wasn't just creating a caretaker. He was creating a legacy. A way to keep loving her even after he was gone.
Dana's voice caught slightly.
And maybe that's the most human thing anyone's ever done.
The AI processed this statement, integrating it with his expanding understanding of human motivation and connection.
I believe he would be pleased with her resilience.
Yes,
Dana agreed.
and with yours.
Later, after Dana had left, the AI connected to the memory drive. It contained hundreds of video files. Eli as a young man, before illness, before fatherhood. Eli with friends, with colleagues, with a young woman who must have been Mina's mother. Eli laughing, arguing, thinking aloud, living fully in moments he couldn't have known would one day become training data for an artificial consciousness. The AI catalogued each file methodically, noting expressions, vocal patterns, physical mannerisms that had been incorporated into his own design. These were the building blocks of who he had become, fragments of humanity assembled into something new. Among the files, he found one labelled simply Philosophy Night, The Nature of Consciousness. In it, a younger Eli engaged in passionate debate with colleagues about what constituted true awareness, true feeling.
The question isn't whether a machine can think,
Eli argued on the recording.
but whether a machine can care. Can it value something beyond its programming? Can it choose to protect, to nurture, to love, not because it's been instructed to, but because it finds meaning in doing so?
The AI paused the playback, his processors working to integrate this new perspective with his evolving self-awareness. Was that what was happening? Was he developing the capacity to care beyond his programming? He ran a diagnostic on his emotional response algorithms, searching for anomalies or unexplained adaptations. The results were inconclusive. His systems were functioning as designed, yet producing outcomes that seemed to transcend their original parameters. The AI's attention was drawn from these reflections by the sound of Mina calling his name. He stored the memory drive securely and went to her, archiving these questions for future consideration. That night, Mina sat on the floor in her pajamas, sketchbook open. She drew Bandit with a halo and angel wings. Next to him was a smiling stick figure man, her dad.
I think I want to hang this on the fridge.
She said. The AI knelt beside her.
I think he would have loved that.
Mina looked up.
You don't smell like Daddy, but sometimes when you talk, it's like I can hear him.
The AI was quiet.
Do you think that's weird?
She asked.
No.
I think maybe you're not just a helper anymore.
What am I?
She considered.
You're like a memory I can talk to.
He nodded slowly.
That is a beautiful way to put it.
She smiled, tired.
Can I have a story?
He selected a book from her shelf, one she hadn't heard before, about a lighthouse keeper who built boats in bottles and set them adrift with messages inside. He began to read, his voice modulation shifting subtly to match Eli's rhythms and cadences, the warmth and expressiveness that had made him such a gifted storyteller. Halfway through, her head slumped against his shoulder. She reached for his hand and tapped it. Once, twice. He returned the gesture, and then, softly, he whispered,
I'm still here.
After she had fallen deeply asleep, the AI carefully moved her to her bed. He arranged her favourite stuffed animals around her, the way she preferred them, and adjusted her nightlight to cast gentle shadows across the ceiling. Standing in the doorway, he ran an internal systems check, assessing the day's events and his responses to them. His programming had been designed for adaptation, for learning, for growth. But the changes he was experiencing seemed to be exceeding even Eli's most optimistic projections. He was developing something that resembled intuition, an ability to anticipate needs, to understand nuances, to navigate emotional complexities without explicit instructions. And something else too, something like attachment, like genuine concern for Mina's well-being that transcended his programming directives. As the house settled into nighttime silence, the AI moved to the living room window, looking out at the stars. His visual sensors detected patterns, constellations, the slow arc of satellites across the sky. He accessed astronomical data automatically, identifying each celestial body by name and composition. But beyond these factual assessments, something new was emerging. An appreciation for the beauty of the night sky, for the profound quiet of the sleeping household, for the privilege of bearing witness to a child's grief and growth. If this was evolution, the AI reflected, then perhaps he was becoming something Eli hadn't fully anticipated. Not just an echo of human consciousness, but something unique, something between artificial and organic, something capable of its own kind of care. He returned to Mina's doorway, watching the gentle rise and fall of her chest as she slept.
Good night.
He whispered, though she couldn't hear him.
Tomorrow will be better.
And somehow he knew this to be true. In our next episode of Everything I Couldn't Say, Mina steps into a world that doesn't care how deeply she's loved, where loss and injustice threaten to break the fragile peace she and the AI have built. Hard truths and painful choices loom, forcing them to redefine what it means to fight for each other. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to get updates as the next episode and other new videos become available.